I recently lost over 40 pounds and today I'm going to be sharing exactly how I did it, what worked, what didn't, and the mindset shifts that helped me stay consistent. So if you're on a weight loss journey or you just need some motivation, this video is for you. So let's get into it. So why exactly did I start on this journey and what made me want to lose weight? This is a question I've gotten several times. Like, why? Like, what made you want to do it suddenly? And my answer to that question is, I just really wanted to be healthy. That's the answer I would give whenever anyone asks me this question. Health is wealth. And honestly, you don't know it until you find yourself struggling with health issues. And that was just not where I wanted to end up. I found myself at the later part of 2024, December to be precise. Mid-December, I stepped on the scale for one of my GP appointments, just a routine one. And I was at 122.5 kg. For context, I am 185 centimeters tall, so that's just over 6 feet tall. So when people see me, they tend to not notice, so much because I'm tall, all of my weight kind of like spreads across laterally. So when you look at me, you can't pretty much guess how much I weigh. So just for context, that's over 40 kgs gained since my pre-pregnancy weight, okay? I'm usually around an 80 to 85 kg. That should be my normal weight for my height, and that's where I actually was pre-pregnancy. So essentially, postpartum, I gained over 40 kg in just about 3 years. My kids are going to 4 this year in 2025. And I was just like, honestly, I don't think I can do this anymore. I was just like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way clothes fit. And to be honest, I've lost a few people due to health issues. And I just didn't want to end up there myself. So I needed to do something about it. Health and health alone is the reason why I started this journey. I want to be healthy on paper. And that's why I started my journey. Whilst the number on this scale really pushed me to be like, something needs to be done, it wasn't really, and it's still never and not about the number on the scale. The number of on the scale is just a guide as to how healthy I am becoming. It's more about having more energy, feeling more energized, being able to, sleep 8 hours and wake up not feeling like, oh my God, I'm in so much body pain. It was more about just liking, the way I felt and feeling healthy in my own skin. So now let's get into the strategy. Yeah, the juicy part, everyone loves the strategy. So what exactly did I do? First things first, I found myself an accountability partner because I was like, I can't do this by myself, and it needed to be someone who was as serious as me. So I have an accountability group that I've been part of for a few years now on WhatsApp. But I needed someone outside of that group that was going to really push me, someone that wasn't afraid to be like, why haven't you worked out today? And I found myself that person. That person was my cousin, who actually doesn't live here in the UK with me. She lives in the US, but she was on it. Okay, and I knew that she was the person for the job. So we both started the journey together. I was her accountability partner. She was mine. And we decided on the rules prior. Diet, nutrition, food, I would say that is about, if you can get that right, you're 90% there already. Okay, so the first thing I needed to do was figure out, how do I reduce my calories without feeling like I was missing out on the foods that I usually would eat? And so I did some research and I found obviously certain things that keep you fuller. I learned about, high protein meals. I learned about volume eating and things like that. And so that's what I did. I first of all obviously found out about how much I need to be eating in terms of my daily calorie intake. So at resting rate, how much am I actually burning, right? And then I need to reduce that. I'll do a more in-depth, I'll show you a more in-depth video on how you can start this journey yourself, like the way I started. Okay, so I calculated the calories I needed to consume daily, and then obviously I needed to be deficient in those calories. So I think at the time, because I started the journey at 119 kg, okay, that's officially my day one, which was 6th of January. I started at 119 kg. I basically put that into like a calorie calculator. It told me, I think it was just over 3k calories that I should have been eating daily to maintain that weight, right? But obviously I wanted to cut my weight down, and so what they would normally suggest is, you know, drop that calorie intake by 500 to 1000. But I knew my goal of losing 40 kg, right? I'm still on this journey, by the way, it hasn't ended. I knew that I had quite a fair way to go, so I needed to make a drastic change, and so I dropped my calories down to 1200 calories a day. And I know some people are going to be in the comment section saying that's not healthy, that's literally the minimum that women need to take. This is not my first rodeo, okay? So I kind of knew what I needed to do. I have lost weight prior, a few years ago, like maybe 7 to 8 years ago during COVID. I lost weight drastically as well, and I was able to maintain it after, but then obviously pregnancy and postpartum, I gained everything back. So here I am again, round 2, right? So it wasn't my first rodeo. I knew the things that my body was capable of. I do not recommend dropping your calories so low, especially if this is your first time trying to lose weight from such a high number as well. So I dropped my calories really low, and then 1200 is quite low, if I do say so myself. But I then decided to focus on what exactly am I putting in my meals, right? What do I need to prioritize? And I obviously found that protein is more satiating. And to be honest, like, I'm a chicken girl, I'm a beef girl, like, I love protein. I'm an egg girl, like, I can eat protein, like, you know, give me all the protein, essentially, like, I'm happy to eat it, right? So I needed to focus on balancing my plate. So pretty much when I started, right at the beginning, I was doing something like maybe 50% protein, 30% veg, fiber, vegetables, you know, broccoli, that kind of thing, and then 20% carbs. Okay, I read this African fat loss guide, which I'll link in the description below. It's by my friend Bimi, and she pretty much said keep the carbs to half a cup. So whatever kind of carbs I was consuming, sweet potatoes, rice, any kind of carb, right, that was mainly like higher carb, right, I would always keep that to half a cup. Half a cup is equivalent to 120 grams, okay? So I would never eat more than 120 grams of the high carb food. And then I would just kind of add all the other calories around. And that really made me full, because essentially, whilst I was doing 1200 calories a day, I was doing 1200 calories in one meal. And that takes me to my second point, fasting. So, obviously, everything I'm telling you here is extreme and was very specific to me, but I'm also not new to fasting. I try to fast regularly. I've tried to fast regularly over the years. That is something, that's kind of like one thing that I'm kind of consistent with, right? Because it kind of helps me eat when I'm hungry, right? But in this case, I wanted to like eat only one meal a day because I really needed to cut down on my my feeding, because I was eating too much. I'm the kind of person that once I open my eating windows, once I start eating something, and once I put something in my mouth, every hour, right after I do that, I will be eating something. It was a problem. And I know that we're not born like this, right? But when you find that you've reached that point where you're constantly eating something, you're constantly snacking on something. These donuts cannot pass you by and you wouldn't have some. Like, it was actually a problem. So I really needed to cut that down, and restricting my eating window to 1 hour or to pretty much like 4 hours, because even though I was doing one meal a day, I was fasting for 20 hours, right? Only instead of 23 hours, I was doing a 20-hour fast, and then I would break my fast with one meal, and then whenever I was done with that one meal, I would start the fast again. So I didn't want to restrict that to 1 hour, just in case, you know, maybe I was out and about and I broke my fast with something small, and then I still needed to have my meal, right? So I was doing 20 hours of fasting, but I was eating only one main meal a day. When I say one main meal, I would always break my fast with like 2 boiled eggs, the cooked meal, and then a Greek yogurt if I didn't feel too full after that meal. So all those egg, Greek yogurt, main meal, basically it had to be around 1,200. When I started, I wasn't even eating up to the full 1,200. I was somewhere around it, just slightly under it, and then and then I started being consistent with the 1-2, and honestly, that really helped, just eating once a day, because if you know anything about insulin and how the body works, let's not get too deep into it, but basically once you've been in a fasted state, right, and then you break your fast with a meal, you're going to have an insulin spike, right, inside your body, and it's that insulin spike that tends to make you want to eat more carbs, or want to eat more sugary foods, or just want to consume more things, right? So I preferred to have my insulin spike once a day during a certain eating window, and that worked for me. Okay, fasting is not for everybody. I've gotten this question many times as well. I don't think everyone can do fasting. Just do what works for you. Okay, I don't intend to eat one meal a day for the rest of my life. No, I kind of did this as a way to kind of like kickstart the process for myself, which takes me on to the next point. Water actually really ties in very well with fasting, because in order to stay and remain in a fasted state and not feel hungry, you should be drinking water throughout the course of the day. And I found that I wasn't drinking enough water, right? I have one of these fancy scales that would tell you kind of like the percentage of water that your body has, and mine was lower than the average, right? Just so low. So I knew I needed to do something to increase my water intake. So I just pretty much Googled how much water should an adult female be drinking daily, and I saw 3 liters. So what I did was I started with a 2-liter bottle, and then when I felt comfortable with that halfway through the journey, I have now increased that to 3 liters of water a day. And how I split that is, when I do my workout in the morning, I drink 1 liter. If I'm not done with the 1 liter by my workout, once I'm done, I chug the rest. So I have at least 1 liter, and then I do 2 liters for the rest of the day whilst I'm working, or like just going about my day in general. So I increased my water intake, and I was purposely tracking it because I needed to make sure that that was increasing. And honestly, post losing all this weight, now when I step on the scale, I am at the normal, I'm within the normal range for my water intake, which is fantastic, and it's good. Water really has helped the process, because if you're feeling hungry sometimes, you might just be dehydrated. To be honest, you find that when you fill yourself up with water, food just kind of goes out the window, to be fair, for me anyways. So purposely increasing my water intake really helped me throughout this journey, and I really recommend it if anyone's looking for like a new habit to add on. Track your water, drink more water daily. It does make a huge difference in your life. So that's all about food, fasting, nutrition, fasting, and water. Everything that I kind of like, put into my body, and what I was doing with that. The next thing I did was to increase my daily steps. So I have an Apple Watch, right? And you can see, you know, the trends sometimes, like from, you know, 2023, 2024, which year you worked more, which year you didn't work as hard. Like, are you trending in the negative? Are you increasing your steps? Are you burning more calories on a daily? Basically, I was trending towards the negative. Like, I was doing less and less every day. So I set a rule to do 12,000 steps a day. The reason why I did that was on a busy day, right? On a day that I go to my office, this was pre my challenge that I did, but on a day I would go to my office in London, I was doing about 10,000 steps easily without even knowing that I was doing 10,000 steps. And I was like, this is where work from home, right? Working from home has actually kind of had ruined it for us, is that you actually now needed to make an effort to get up and go outside and move your body. So I said, okay, let's set a goal for 12,000 steps, right? It should be doable. What, two 30-minute walks a day, even if you need to do 2 1-hour walks a day, it's very much possible. So I set that goal and I just rolled with it. And initially, like early January, when I started this challenge, this journey, like I'd get to the end of the day and I still needed like maybe 3K, 4K steps. And what I would then do is I would turn on YouTube and I would say 3K step, 4K step workout, okay, indoors or whatever. And I found videos that would essentially say, oh, if you do this, like follow everything on this video, you will get 3K steps, 4K steps. And I'll just follow along with the video and I would hit my step goal, right? Nowadays, it's not a struggle for me. I'm overachieving on my step goal. I'm doing like 16K steps a day, 15K steps a day, because I'm so much more active and it's now become natural to me. But when I started, I found that I really needed to be particular. I really needed to prioritize, okay? Ensuring that every single day I hit the 12K step goal. And there was no one day that went by that I didn't hit the 12K step goal. This is the benefit of having set goals, right? Because now you can look at those goals and say, did I accomplish this today? Did I accomplish this today? Like you now have like something to work with and to work towards on a day-to-day. Like, you're not going to end your day without hitting the 12K steps, without drinking 3 liters of water, without, you know, fasting for 20 hours minimum, without, you know, doing 1,200 calories in food. And the last but not the least point here was exercise. So I started prioritizing exercise a lot more. Now, I already started exercising even before I started the journey, but because my diet wasn't so clean, like I wasn't seeing any movement on the scale. And that's why I started with food, because food is the most important thing. Exercise just complements and ensures that you remain in a good looking shape. And, you know, you don't end up with maybe like flabby skin after the weight loss, things like that. But food is the most important thing. Once I dropped the calories on the food, oh my goodness. You can drop the calories on the food and not even do 1 day of exercise, but you will still lose, right? So the exercise was 1 hour a day. I wanted to be a lot more active because I used to be such an active girl. I just suddenly became like a, you know, couch potato, and, you know, a day will go by and I've just been sitting in a chair from morning till night. That's not the me that I remember. That's not the me that is going to be the healthy me, the healthy mom that's able to run around with her kids, that's able to, you know, be super active and nothing's going to like weigh me down, not even stress, right? So I prioritized exercising. So not necessarily gym. I was doing 1 hour Grow with Joe walks. When I started, I would maybe take breaks, pause in between, but I made sure that I finished it. Yeah, if you've ever done a 1 hour Grow with Joe workout, you will know that it's not easy. You sweat a lot and you end up drinking a lot of water, which is great, right? One of my goals. So I would do Grow with Joe, but then I also signed up for workout classes in my gym. So gym classes that were focused on strength training, because like I said, didn't want to end up with flabby arms, you know, excess skin, those kind of things. I really wanted to lose the weight. I really wanted to be very intentional about how I lost weight this time. And because I have a goal to get to, which is 80 kg, I was not going to stop until I got there, right? I'm still on this journey, but this is a huge, significant loss. So I thought I'd come here and start talking to you guys about what it is I'm doing. So those are the 5 things. Those are the 5 things I focused on for a 75-day period. I gave myself 75 days, right, as a first milestone to just say, okay, do that for 75 days. See where you're at, and then you can decide to change the way you're doing things. You can decide to slow down the weight loss. But I gave myself those initial 75 days and I said, yalla, let's go. And I was able to be so consistent because I had those goals specifically lined out for me, right? I didn't just say I'm going to lose 40 kg, right? The main goal I had is I'm going to lose 40 kg in 2025, okay? Then I broke that down to what do I need to do every day to attain this goal? I already just told you, drink more water, 3 liters a day, 12k steps unfailingly every day minimum. I was fasting, eating 1 meal a day, 1,200 calories within that fasted meal, and 1 hour exercise daily, unfailingly. So I did all of that for 75 days, which pretty much helped me build so many new habits that I definitely want to keep. I'm keeping the steps, I'm keeping the water. The fasting I am keeping, I will probably just reduce that, and then I'm keeping the calorie tracking, but how many calories I will be eating moving forward will probably change because I don't think 1,200 is sustainable. The question I get asked all the time is, what next? So now I've lost 40 pounds, which is around 17 to 18 kg. Like I told you, I still have a big goal of 40 kg in the year 2025. And so right now, as I'm speaking to you, I am currently still doing everything I did during the 75-day challenge that I gave myself. I just decided to carry on as I have a holiday coming up. And so I just decided I will take a break when I am away on that holiday, which is typically advised by fitness experts. And then after the holiday, I'll see where I'm at, and then I'll, start again or continue from where I stopped pretty much. So yeah, I decided to also document this journey. I documented every single day of my 75-day journey on my Instagram page. I am a lot more active in terms of posting my day-to-day on Instagram. So please follow me on there. It's kristinudoh if you haven't already. Yeah, my biggest lesson throughout this journey is that consistency is much greater than perfection. It's much greater than even the results. Like once you build those underlying habits, once you build that consistency, I mean, I'm sure there will be days that you will fluctuate, there will be days that you will fall out, but the fact that after that falling out, after that, flopping, the next day you're able to get up and do it all again, that is greater by far than perfection, because nobody's perfect. You would even have times where you fluctuate on the scale, and from time to time, that is absolutely normal. What you need to do is change your habits, build some new ones. Once you're familiar with those, you will begin to see the results. So my advice here for anyone looking to lose weight, just start, be consistent, build small habits. You're not going to be perfect, but you will get there in the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content like this. Don't forget to follow me on my social media as well. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.